I'll tell you some stories. Are you ready? The moon hung high in the night sky, casting a silvery glow upon the antique mirror that held Isabella's ghostly presence. She watched the world through the reflective surface, a silent observer of passing time. In life, Isabella had been a woman of elegance and grace, but in death, she found herself trapped within the confines of the mirror. Her ghostly form shimmered within the glass, yearning for a connection to the living world. Each night, as the world around her slept, Isabella's ghostly reflection came to life. She reached out, longing to touch the faces that peered into the mirror. Some nights, children would come, giggling and playing, their innocent laughter echoing within the spectral chamber. Isabella found solace in their joy, feeling a fleeting connection to the warmth of life. Yet, her existence remained solitary. Adults would peer into the mirror, their faces etched with worry and longing. Isabella saw their hopes, fears, and regrets reflected in their eyes. Sometimes, she'd try to communicate, reaching out with ethereal whispers, but her voice was lost in the divide between worlds. The mirror became a vessel for the unspoken desires of those who sought solace within its glassy embrace. Isabella's ghostly form offered silent companionship, her eyes conveying empathy and understanding to those who sought answers within their reflections. She witnessed the joys and sorrows of the world through the eyes of those who gazed upon her spectral image. Each night, as the first light of dawn approached, Isabella retreated into the depths of the mirror, her ghostly form fading until the cycle began anew with the setting sun. Isabella's ghost lingered in the abandoned mansion where she had once lived. Her essence intertwined with the walls, the very air vibrating with her presence. Within the dilapidated halls, she found solace in the grand piano that had once been her most cherished possession. In life, Isabella's fingers had danced across the piano keys, weaving melodies that echoed the depths of her soul. In death, her ghostly form continued to caress the ivory keys, conjuring haunting melodies that resonated throughout the mansion. The echoes of her unfinished compositions filled the air, carrying a mournful tune that seemed to bridge the gap between the realms of the living and the dead. Isabella's ghostly figure hovered over the piano, her translucent fingers weaving through the invisible notes that lingered in the air. Sometimes, wanderers dared to step into the mansion, drawn by the ethereal music that beckoned from within. They would stand in awe, listening to Isabella's ghostly performance, the haunting melodies stirring emotions buried deep within their souls. Isabella's music held a power beyond the grave, stirring emotions that ranged from sorrow to hope. Some visitors claimed to feel a sense of closure, as if Isabella's ghostly lament offered a glimpse into the depths of their own emotions, unlocking feelings they had long suppressed. Her music became a conduit for the unspoken desires and emotions of those who ventured into the mansion. Isabella's ghostly melodies lingered in the memories of those who had felt the ethereal resonance of her haunting compositions, leaving an indelible mark on their souls even after they departed from the abandoned mansion. Isabella's ghostly existence was an endless dance between the worlds. She lingered within the confines of an old, forgotten attic, or realm where time seemed to stand still. Her translucent figure, draped in an ethereal gown woven from moonbeams, floated amid dusty relics and forgotten memories. In life, Isabella had been a woman of passions, her heart intertwined with the melodies that flowed from her piano. Yet, in death, she found herself tethered to the mortal realm, her spirit unable to move on. From her vantage point in the attic, Isabella observed the world outside with a bittersweet longing. She watched the changing seasons, the ebb and flow of life, through the attic's small, cobwebbed windows. Her ghostly form radiated a melancholic aura, a silent echo of the emotions she carried within. Visitors occasionally stumbled upon the attic, drawn by whispers of a haunting presence within the old house. Some felt a shiver down their spine as they entered, sensing the ethereal energy that permeated the air. Isabella watched them cautiously, yearning for connection yet unable to bridge the gap between the living and the spectral realm. Her translucent fingers traced the dusty surfaces, occasionally pausing at forgotten mementos, a weathered photograph, a yellowed sheet of music that stirred memories of her past life. In those moments, the attic seemed to come alive with fragments of her former existence. Sometimes, a lone visitor would bring an item once cherished by Isabella, unknowingly invoking a surge of emotions within her ghostly being. As they gingerly placed the object among the forgotten relics, Isabella's ghostly presence stirred with a mix of nostalgia and sorrow. She longed to reach out, to convey her gratitude or share the stories behind these artifacts, but her spectral form remained unseen and unheard. Days melted into nights, and years slipped by, yet Isabella's ghost remained anchored to the attic, a silent observer of passing time. Her presence infused the space with an intangible energy, a whispered echo of a life once vibrant and full of passion. Though unable to interact with the living, Isabella's ghost found a peculiar solace in their fleeting visits. Each soul that crossed the threshold of the attic carried a fragment of her story, a whisper of her existence that lingered in their memories long after they departed. And so, Isabella's ghost continued her timeless vigil in the attic, a spectral figure bound by the threads of unfinished melodies and unspoken tales. Her translucent form remained an enigmatic presence, a silent witness to the passage of time, forever yearning for a connection that eluded her in the ethereal space between life and death.